Hey everybody out there, it's Timothy here with Manorox. We are probably doing one final Masters 25 draft because Dominaria comes out soon and also the drafts come off online. I think they're doing the Modern Cube, and I think I want to do one more Rivals of Ixalan draft before that goes away as kind of a goodbye to the format. It was a good format. Looking at our pack here, it's not that great. Ball Lightning's fine. Kind of was hoping for a really sweet rare here, not Ball Lightning. This card is just fine. It's not really that much better than just the red Genju. In fact, I think it's worse than the red Genju. What I could do here, since I haven't played it a single time, is I could take Mesmeric Fiend and try to force black, which is not something I suggest doing, forcing colors that is, but I have not played black a single time, and I actually happen to like Mesmeric Fiend. Ball Lightning's also a huge color commitment that I don't really want to make on my pack one pick one. There's also Promise of Boonrai, which is probably better than Mesmeric Fiend, but hey, look, sometimes you got to make things happen, right? I could also force the Horseshoe Crab deck since I'm going for something sweet. That's a pretty sweet thing to do, but I'm not really all in on that deck unless it just happens to pan out. So following up my pack one, pick one Mesmeric Fiend, I could take yet another Mesmeric Fiend or Undead Gladiator, which is a fine card. Um, Enthralling Victor, Ire Shaman. If I end up with sacrifice outlets like Phyrexian Ghoul, then I'll want things like Enthralling Victor. And Phyrexian Ghoul might just be the pick after Mesmeric Fiend, but you can get a couple of these throughout the draft, whereas Undead Gladiator is an uncommon that I'm willing to take pretty highly here. It's a fine card. It's not super great, but if you end up with any sort of graveyard synergies, then it's fine. I would love to just have Live and Death in this sort of deck if I end up running the route of having cycling creatures and stuff along those lines, but hey, you can't always promise that you're going to open a Live and Death. You can, however, open a Rurik Thar, which is a good card, but probably not what I'm taking here. Supernatural Stamina and Dirge of Dread are both fine cards for black decks, and I'm probably going to take either one of those. Supernatural Stamina does kind of work with Mesmeric Fiend. This is like regeneration, but the creature actually dies, so you get to reuse into the battlefield triggers. So there's some combos you can set up. There's also Dirge of Dread, which is a card I like quite a bit, but I think I'd rather want Supernatural Stamina, and there are not a lot of decks that are interested in Dirge of Dread. I am seeing a lot of red here and green, not a lot of white or blue at all, so I'm going to go and pick up the little combat trick here, and this has some interesting things it can do. Well, there's a Nicol Bolas. I don't know how heavily I can commit to all three of these colors. Like I said in some previous videos, Nicol Bolas always wheels. There's also Spike Shot Goblin, which is just definitely better than Diabolic Edict. And I am seeing red flowing in this direction, so I think I'd be remiss to pass up Spike Shot Goblin here. It is a combo with Mesmeric Fiend if you want to permanently get rid of a card, too. I don't really want to be an all-in red aggressive deck because I've done that so many times. And I could take Diabolic Edict here, but Spike Shot Goblin has just impressed me to no end in this format. And along those lines, I could take Humble Defector, especially if I end up with a Phyrexian Ghoul or a Fallen Angel or something along those lines. It works with Spike Shot too. You can activate it and then shoot it down with your Spike Shot Goblin so that your opponent doesn't get the choice of using it. And all I'm passing here is another Diabolic Edict. Conflux. This card should not be in the set. It's embarrassing, and I hate it. Boros Charm also very, very good, but if we end up like some red-black sacrifice deck, I'd be pretty happy with that. What are we feeling about this pack? Bloodhunter Bat is good, and there's also Unearth, and outside of that, I don't really care too much. I would take Cascade Bluffs had I taken Nicol Bolas, but you can see very clearly I did not take Nicol Bolas. So, do I want just the Fine card or Unearth, which is usually pretty good too? Unearth is not a bad card. I might just take Bloodhunter Bat here, I think. Although Unearth is a little bit better. Now I'm going to take Bloodhunter. I like it. I like the card quite a bit. Dark Ritual is not a card I tend to play very often, although I've gotten got by this card a couple times where people just curve out into like a bunch of Nezumi Grave Robbers and just beat me down. Pillar of the Sleepless is by far the best card in the pack, but I'm going to take Enthrall and Victor and just really hope to get a Phyrexian Ghoul here. One or two Phyrexian Ghouls would be very nice. Browbeat, not a card that I'm going to acknowledge. Uncaged Fury is worse than some of these other options. There's Street Wraith and there's Nezumi Cutthroat, and I think I'm probably just on the Cutthroat. Be an aggressive deck again, but a different tinge of aggro here. I do like Street Wraith quite a bit, but mostly you have synergies for it. Balduvian Horde I've come down on quite a bit. I'm not a fan of the card. Probably take Self-Assembler here, and if I get multiple Self-Assemblers, then I'll actually probably play him. Alright, Enthrall Invictor is fine. Come on, Phyrexian Ghoul. Nope, not this time. I will take Skeletonize, though. This card's good, and I actually am going to be red-black, so I can make use of the Regenerator this time, rather than just a weenie 1/1 body. But Skeletonize has proved its worth in this format. I guess I'll take Mog Flunkies, especially if I'm going to beat down, then Mog Flunkies is fine. And if I end up being somewhere on the higher end of the curve, then sure. So coming out of the first pack, we have one removal spell and pretty solid red-black start here. I will prioritize Fallen Angel and Phyrexian Ghoul pretty highly, I think, because I have double Enthrall and Victor, and I also have Humble Defector and Mesmeric Fiend. These are all combos with the Phyrexian Ghoul. I'll look for Act of Treason, I suppose, is a card that I would play alongside a Sacrifice Outlet. Live and Death would be the card that I just greatly hope to open. I don't think I'm playing Dark Ritual in this deck. I don't see the incentive of playing like a turn 1 Undead Gladiator. It burns a whole card to do so. Alright, so coming out of that pack, we have Magus of the Wheel, which is good. This card's sweet, especially if you can empty your hand faster than your opponent. It literally wheels both players. It's also a 3-mana 3/3, which is pretty good. There's another Humble Defector, which I would like a lot more if I already had Phyrexian Ghoul. And then there's Hordeling Outburst, Skeletonize. Skeletonize just good, but another 5-drop. Hordeling Outburst very good if you end up with any of the sacrifice creatures. But I'm going to go and take Magus of the Wheel here. And we can wheel some people. Oh, wow, that is an Achroma. Also, Kavu Predator has extremely impressed me in this format in a way that I didn't think I'd be impressed by it. This is easy Achroma. I mean, am I getting 8 mana? I don't know. Maybe this is a reason to play Dark Ritual, although I still need triple red to make it work. I can morph it, though. It's definitely going to be the pick here. I can't imagine Treasure Keeper I want over it, and I'm not going in on Relentless Rats right now. I mean, Treasure Keeper would be good if I end up with the sacrifice stuff, but Achroma is just a bomb. And it's good to know the person passing to me is not red. Here, not really too much. Probably going to take Ruthless Ripper or Prophetic Prism. Ruthless Ripper's fine. Prophetic Prism doesn't actually like splash anything for me here, so I don't think I really need it. All it does is it makes like the double black and triple red things easier to cast, but I'm not going to use a whole card for that. Not really seeing anything that wants me to switch into another color, so sure, Ruthless Ripper can go ahead and make the cut here. Wow, green all the way around. This does not actually look like a Jackal Pup deck. Soulbright Flamekin, do I want that? I could take Ash Barrens here. I rather like having Ash Barrens in this sort of deck. Invigorate's very, very strong with the Kavu Predator. Part of the reason I like that card is because it combos with Invigorate very, very highly. But we are not an Invigorate deck, clearly. So I'm either taking a little dorky red creature or I'm taking an Ash Barrens. I'll take Ash Barrens here. Who knows? Maybe I splash something, and I don't mind just playing this. It's kind of like Evolving Wilds, in that you use your land drop for the turn to improve your mana quality. Cloud Shift is a combo with Enthrall and Victor. Chartooth Cougar's fine. Ruthless Ripper's fine. Thresher Lizard's fine. Probably just going to take Chartooth Cougar here. Not passing up on too much for it. Looks like red. Looks like my colors in general are just getting pretty cut in this direction. I think this is going to be an easy Diabolic Edict. I have no love for Assembly Worker, and there's nothing else in the pack that I want. So, Diabolic Edict it is. Hopefully pack 3 goes well for us. Because it looks like blue, green, and white, all of the Bant colors are flowing pretty nicely in this pack. Which means our colors might be getting cut in this pack. But hey, I'll sacrifice it if it means I get a good pack 3. Still just would really love some sort of sacrifice creature. It's another Cascade Bluffs. Boros Charm, is that something I'm interested in here? Am I interested in Cascade Bluffs at all? I mean, it makes double red, which can help do things. Probably just another Diabolic Edict, right? Over something fancy. Yeah. If we end up with more... Diabolic Edict actually gets better in a deck that has more removal spells, aside from Edicts, because you can kind of pick off the big creature, or pick off the little creatures, and then let Diabolic Edict take care of the big creatures. Good if your opponent's all in on, like, a big Regenerator or something along those lines. Otherwise, this card's not, like, the be-all, end-all. Here, man, green would just be insane. We would have Rurik Thar, a bunch of Invigorates, Kavu Predator. Do I want Death's Head Buzzard or Pyrehound? I think I probably want the Buzzard. It's very, very good in certain matchups, and if we end up with a Sacrifice Outlet, it's a good way to clear off like the Hordling Outburst decks and things like that. You could also just board it against them. You don't have to have the Sacrifice Outlet. We saw this card be very good against me last time. Soulbright Flamekin, am I interested in that? I have a lot of creatures. I can afford to take another Supernatural Stamina. This trades up pretty well. And not taking anything here, so I guess Relentless Rats for the board. Ooh, that's a late ordeal. That should not be going that late. But if nobody's a white beatdown deck, then I guess there's no reason for it. Dark Ritual number 2. Wow, this is the hookup. Look at all these pump spells. I'm going to take an Invigorate. I'm just going to snap these off. Cloud Shift is the most likely card for me to play here because of the Enthrall Invictors. It lets me permanently steal whatever creature I target. But I can't imagine I'm playing like Ash Baron's Cloud Shift here. Right now, I think my deck is pretty low power. This pack did not go very well for us at all. I mean, we got a Chroma and a couple Edicts, but we didn't get any very good creatures. We didn't get a Phyrexian Ghoul, which we're going to open along with some bombs, so we're going to have to take the bomb, and we're going to miss out on it. Notion Thief, or we could just open a pack like this that has nothing except Phyrexian Ghoul, so pretty happy with that. I would consider splashing Notion Thief. There are decks that's very good against. War Drums could be okay, and outside of that, I don't know. If we wheel Soulbright Flamekin or Thresher Lizard, we might play him, but this deck wants a Phyrexian Ghoul. What does it want more? Another Phyrexian Ghoul or a Dusk Legion Zealot? Or a Hordling Outburst? These are all fine options. I feel like maybe I just want the Ghoul. Hordling Outburst is the strongest card here, but Dusk Legion Zealot's also just a card I enjoy playing and kind of want in all of my decks. I think all three of these options are justifiable. I'm not going to get the Ghoul back. I might get the... No, whoever else is playing black is going to take the one that I don't take. So it's actually kind of a tough pick. Oh, one thing to mention here with Supernatural Stamina is that it does work with a Chroma. If you play a Chroma as a morph, and then you Supernatural Stamina the morph and it dies, it comes back flipped face up. So that's a way to cheat a Chroma into play. Works with any other morphs too, Skirk Commando and such. I think I just want Phyrexian Ghoul more here. Another Magus of the Wheel. Well, this gets a little bit worse when you don't have a lot of reanimation effects or anything like that, and I really don't. So I think I'm going to take Kindle here and just have another cheap removal spell. I wouldn't mind the Magus. Again, it's a 3-mana 3/3. It can beat down. There's also Dusk Legion Zealot, but Kindle's good. Even the first Kindle's good. The second Kindle is great as well, so easy second Kindle here. I'm kind of happy with that. Add a little bit more removal to the deck. Doesn't look like Self-Assembler's getting there. I would not mind a Dirge of Dread here. Very good with Phyrexian Ghoul, but we're going to have to be creative and beat our opponent with what we've got. So, I don't know. Maybe it can work out. I feel like we're missing some key pieces here. But, I mean, we have solid removal through Edicts and Kindles and Skeleton Eyes. Maybe we can just beat our opponent down and get there. Urg Raiders is a card that I think is just dreadfully bad. I think it's really bad. So, we're looking at the 5-drops here. Do I want another Skeleton Eyes or another Self-Assembler? I think I'm actually going to take Self-Assembler here. Having the Kindles means that I'm less incentivized to take another 5-mana removal spell. Also, note that Flash and Protean Hulk were in this draft. Could take Mishra's Factory. Could easily take Skeleton Eyes. I'm not taking Urg Raiders, but yeah, Self-Assembler number 2. And be fairly happy playing that. Plus, look, like you just get another Skeletonize anyway. I think the second Skeletonize. Oh, there's another Self-Assembler though. All right, 3 Self-Assemblers I think is good. Maybe I get a Skeletonize back. There's just a lot of them in this pack. Not gonna have to cut too many cards either. Maybe cut 1 Diabolic Edict until we see what kind of deck we're against. If we play against a token-heavy deck, this card gets very bad. Skirt Commando's okay. I kind of like where we're at, though. Strionic Resonator. This is a card where you always have to consider what it does. Double Mesmeric Fiend triggers is not bad. Double Humble Defector triggers. Doesn't do anything with Kindle. I guess it gives you an additional trigger off of these. You can wheel twice. Double Skirt Commando, double Spike Shot Goblin. Yeah, I think it does enough. Double Blood Hunter Bat, double Enthroned Victor. Yeah, I kind of like this, actually. It has some real combo potential, and I'm not missing out on too much by taking it. It's a little bit of a setup card. Return Fouling's good sideboard card, but I actually like Deadly Designs. Oh, that's a late Pact of Negation. This card is good, I think. Deadly Designs is good against a very slow creature-heavy deck, so I don't mind bringing this in certain matchups. Even though it's kind of like a 12-mana removal spell, it does kill 2 creatures. Soulbright Flamekin over Diabolic Edict number 3. Do I want Goblin War Drums? Probably not. I guess it's fine with some of these creatures. It's good with Skirt Commando. It's good with Phyrexian Ghoul, but I don't think I'm actually going to be playing it. I don't think I need Soulbright Flamekin either, so yeah, let's see. There's some matchups where this could be good, I presume. Not 100% sure. Start thinking about what we're not playing. We're going to have to cut. We have a bunch of 5-drops. Maybe this wants to be a 17-land deck, even though I hate playing 17 lands in this format. Chartooth Cougar. I guess I could play 16 plus Chartooth Cougar. That's been working out for me so far. Just playing the a mana cycler or 2 and trying to get there. Might cut an Enthrall Victor or Ruthless Ripper, I guess, is a card that is suitable as a sideboard card against big creature decks, but not particularly amazing on its own. So I guess that's fine. I don't have to play Strionic Resonator, but it does enough cool stuff that I'm willing to do that. Could also just play 2 Self-Assemblers. That seems not correct. Not wheeling basically anything, so we'll just take all of the Edicts. Look, if there's a deck that Diabolic Edict's going to be good against, then we've got it covered, right? I'll let these people have their fun. I say that as I take an aggressive 2-drop white creature. I guess I could play 1 Supernatural Stamina. Oftentimes this will just function as removal. And I have a little bit of removal. This is 24 here. Urg Raiders or Boros Charm. I guess I'm never playing Urg Raiders, so Boros Charm it is. I just think Urg Raiders is such a bad card in this format. Who knows? The Cloud Shift Boros Charm thing might work out. Cloud Shift does work with a Chroma, too. I mean, that is a combo as well. Similar to Supernatural Stamina, but you don't have to get your creature killed first. Where did that Uncaged Fury go? Alright, so if I take the Ash Barons out, this is already 24 cards, which is what I'm looking to play. Although I do have some 5-drops, so that's a little sketch, but I'm starting to think 16 should be the norm for decks unless you have a bunch of like 6 and 7 drops. Just from the last couple of years, most of the sets that have come out for limited, between Kaladesh and Ixalan and all of these sets, like it just feels like 16 lands has been right for most of the formats, but who knows? There's also been things like Explore and Cycling, so oh yeah, I guess Ash Barons. No, Ash Barons doesn't really help hit land drops. I mean, you have to have already hit this land in order for it to be a land drop. Do I want anything in the sideboard is the question, because I'm already at 24 cards, which is what I want to play. And I think everything was already where I wanted it to be. Thing is, I have 4 5-drops and a couple 4-drops. I guess this cycles as well. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. I'm not super in love with this Mog Flunkies. I don't know how hard I'm actually beaten down here. It looks like I'm more of like a weird control deck. Do I have a 2-drop I'd rather play instead of Mog Flunkies? Because look at the other 2-drops I have. I have Humble Defector, Nezumi Cutthroat, Mesmeric Fiend. These are not creatures that get in the red zone that often. Mog Flunkies can be a huge liability against some decks. So maybe I just bring in another Diabolic Edict, or I could bring Ruthless Ripper back in. This is a card that does block well. Death's Head Buzzard, how good is that against me? I guess it's a lot better now that I have Phyrexian Ghoul, and it can give you some pretty strong outs to decks. It's also another way to get Humble Defector off board. I guess it kills enough of my creatures that I'm not super into it. But it only kills like Mesmeric Fiend and Cutthroat, and I can set it up so that it doesn't really take care of Humble Defector. But all of my 3-drops are safe. Well, that's not true. It's a little bit dicey. Since there are some decks that just really don't care about it, I'm not gonna hurt myself with the Death's Head Buzzard. And if it turns out that it is good, then sure, I can board out a 1 toughness creature for it. But let's go ahead and see what the color distribution is like. Majority red, even though we've got a morph, a cycler, and another morph here. So those do help with the mana. Yeah, it just looks like we're going to be 8-8, or maybe it'll be 7 black, 8 red, and an Ash Barrens. Yeah, that sounds about right. So 7 red, yeah, 7 black, 8 red, and Ash Barrens. And look, we put together a red-black deck. We played black for literally the first time. I haven't even played black in real life. This is the first time I've ever played black in this format, and possibly the last time, considering I won't be doing any more drafts. But this is the deck we're going to play. Hopefully we get to do some cool stuff, and I'll see y'all in the matches. All right, welcome to match number 1, where we are going to keep our opening hand. It looks fine. This Ash Barrens is very likely cycling for a mountain. We are on the play, by the way, against Asher. And at the very least, we can kindle off probably our opponent's first play before we have to worry too much about whether we're going to get there on lands or not. I'm just going to go ahead and cycle this right away for that F6 value, as they say. And pass back. We've got the Enthralling Victor plus Phyrexian Ghoul thing going on, so that's pretty nice. Arbor Elves is probably going to get kindled. Yeah. I'm just going to take this out so my opponent can't ramp ahead of me. These green decks are going to have creatures that are just generally bigger than mine, and I'd rather they not come out too early if I can avoid it. Timberpack Wolf. All right, so I think I'm going to lead off with Phyrexian Ghoul here, and then go Enthralling Victor next turn. Sweet little 1-2 punch. And if they play a creature that can block their Timberpack Wolf, then I can sack it to Phyrexian Ghoul, and it's not very likely they're going to have something that can block Ghoul. I mean, I'm probably just going to slam another Timberback Wolf here, but yeah, my opponent knows I'm not blocking. I'm not blocking. You know that. You're 2/2 unblockable creature. Ooh, Corsair Crewfix is even sweeter. Deadly Designs on top, so my opponent's playing black. So I can actually take Corsair of Crewfix, and unfortunately, if I have a land on top, I don't get value off of it. But I do get to sack their Corsair of Crewfix and hit them for this turn. This is power 2 or less. So sweet little 1-2 combo talking about. We'll go ahead and take Corsair and attack for 4. Oh, and I have another Enthralling Victor on top. That's sweet. All right, and then I will sacrifice your Ghoul. And say go. So we know our opponent has Deadly Designs in hand, which they're cycling Street Wraith here, trying to hit a black source, I assume. Fierce Empath is going to go get something that costs 6 or greater, which we don't have to worry about for a while. It might just get a land cycler here. Did they get something? Did I miss what Fierce Empath got? Failed to find a card. Okay. So what do I do here? I could play another Enthrall and Victor and just get in there. I think that's what's going to happen. Why would you fail to find a card with Fierce Empath? That must be a misclick. I assume this is blocking Phyrexian Ghoul here, but who knows. Take the same amount of damage regardless. Alright, go ahead and sack your Timberpack Wolf. So my opponent has 10 life and no creatures to my board of little creatures. Plus I have a Bloodhunter Bat that's going to get a little bit of mileage here. They have a black card in hand, a Morph, and not much else. I didn't get an Active Treason. Active Treason is something I would consider here. I think I'm just going to... I'm not really scared of what this could be. In fact, I don't think there are any green creatures that are flipping up on me. It could be a Ruthless Ripper, but that would still just trade for a creature. I assume... No, I'm fine trading off the Phyrexian Ghoul at this point. Ah, it is a Ruthless Ripper. Haha, my opponent tried to get me there. Yeah, I'm fine with that. My opponent's at 4. I'm just going to hold on to Bloodhunter Bat and see if that can get the job done. I'm going to play Nezumi Cutthroat here and pass. It's very likely if my opponent doesn't play a black creature that Cutthroat could get in there for 2, and then Bloodhunter Bat can drain him out for the other 2. Plus, they would need a special kind of card here to get through this all anyway. Well, Bloodhunter Bat's a good start, but I do think I still just win here. My opponent chumps an Enthrall Victor, goes down to 1, and then I Bloodhunter them back. It's nice to know every creature they played is takeable with Enthrall Victor. Do I show him Bloodhunter Bat? I'm not giving him a lot of value by showing him Bloodhunter Bat. What I will do real quick, though, is look and see how good Death's Head Buzzard is against them, and it looks like it'd be okay. The Arbor Elf, Ruthless Ripper, Fierce Empath. Probably fine. Well, my opponent got a little bit color screwed there, so that's a little unfortunate. Skirk Commando seems good against this opponent. I don't know that I want another Skirk Commando. Kind of like the Death's Head Buzzard. Self-Assembler seem good against what we saw. Mostly because Self-Assembler just fuels more Self-Assemblers. I'm going to take out the cutesy Strionic Resonator for this matchup. And Diabolic Edict seems not great against cards like Fierce Empath and such. Deadly Designs is probably decent. Again, my opponent got stuck on black mana there. Also, we drew like kind of perfect there. Phyrexian Ghoul into double Enthrall Victor is just disgusting. So we got paid off. I did think these Phyrexian Ghouls would be fantastic in our deck, and I mean, we have a very small sample size in that we played one game, but so far they've been pretty decent. Goblin War Drums could be good against this opponent. Goblin War Drums probably better on the play than the draw, just because you're going to have more of a board that you want to attack with when you're on the play rather than on the draw. When you're on the draw, you're normally on defense. You don't want cards like this too often unless you are an all-in aggressive deck, and we're kind of like a mix between aggro and control. We have some control elements with our edicts and whatnot. I really actually don't like edict here when they have Arbor Elf, because they can go Arbor Elf turn 1 and then a 3-drop on turn 2, and then Diabolic Edict is always just going to get that Arbor Elf. And I don't like trading my 2-mana removal spell for an Arbor Elf when I would rather kill other creatures. It's different from Kindle, because Kindle can kill Timberpack Wolf and so on and so forth, but, you know, it is what it is. So I'm still going to keep it in, though. It could be an out to some really large creatures, which we didn't see from the opponent. The Fierce Empath not fetching a creature is really weird to me. Because you don't play Fierce Empath unless you have creatures to fetch. I guess what could have happened is they probably have like 1 or 2 good targets for it, and they already had them in their hand. Like, if they just have a big stompy green creature like Woolly Loxodon that they're planning on getting with Fierce Empath, and they already had it in their hand, then that doesn't work out for him. I was expecting him to get a mana cycle or like a Chartooth Cougar type card for a green black, Twisted A-Bomb or Elvish Aberration, but fail to find on Fierce Empath is not good. 3 mana 1/1s, in case you were wondering, are not good cards. I handed his star to him. Well, I'm sorry I did that. This hand is suspect, but if I draw red source, it's very good. I have 8 red sources in the deck. Mesmeric Fiend, Phyrexian Ghoul. I guess that's in the wrong order for this to matter too much. Hey, opponent's got black mana. Do I draw a mountain? No, super Snatchroll Stamina. Yeah, I guess Mesmeric Fiend will be fine for now, although it doesn't block their creatures too well. There is a Horror of the Broken Land, so they probably had that in their hand last game. That is something they can fetch with Fierce Empath. Alright, red mana, that's good. I think I'm going to go Kindle here, and I'm not going to give my opponent an opportunity to play a pump spell, although I'd be fine trading a Kindle for a pump spell here. Plus my next Kindle can take down a 3 toughness creature. Alright, so the only morph I know of so far is Ruthless Ripper, which I'm not very worried about, especially having Supernatural Stamina. Ooh, drawing more mana is good. So what I'm going to do here is play Phyrexian Ghoul. If it survives, I'm probably going to do the Mesmeric Fiend combo, and I can even go off with Supernatural Stamina there. I'd have to time everything correctly, so I'd have to think about it for a second, but what I can do, for those of you who don't know, since this is 2 separate abilities, what you can do is cast Mesmeric Fiend, let it enter the battlefield, and with the first trigger on the stack, you can kill Mesmeric Fiend or sacrifice it or do something, which will trigger the second ability, and the second ability will resolve first, but there hasn't been a card chosen yet. So then the first ability resolves after that, and you just get to permanently exile something. It's a neat little trick with cards like this and Fiend Hunter. Nowadays, they don't make cards like this. They make it all one big ability. So if you look at cards like Trapjaw Tyrant, you can't cheat the effect like Mesmeric Fiend. But I think that's worth doing here. This lets me get any non-land, so I'm just going to snipe a non-land from my opponent's hand here. The question is, do I want to go for Supernatural Stamina? So what I have to do is I have to play Mesmeric Fiend, let the trigger go on the stack, sack it to Phyrexian Ghoul, and I could Supernatural Stamina Mesmeric Fiend in response, which I'll really want to do if they have good cards in hand, but they didn't play anything last turn. All right, I think I'm going to do this. I don't think I'm going to use the Supernatural Stamina, though. You can always do it on I guess I could do it on Phyrexian Ghoul. They can always just kill this in response as well. All right, so now with that trigger on the stack, I'm going to sacrifice Mesmeric Fiend, and we just get to permanently exile a card now. So the second ability resolves with nothing. Phyrexian Ghoul gets bigger, and then we just get to take a card from their hand permanently. Live and Death, Disfigure, Giant Growth, Death's Head Buzzard. These are all good cards to know about. Live and Death especially is pretty strong here. Opponent does not have the 5th land, though. Phyrexian Ghoul is good against Live and Death. I think I'm just going to take Live and Death and not even give him that out, because they already have 3 creatures in the graveyard. Yeah, get out of here. I can play around Disfigure with Supernatural Stamina. Giant Growth and Death's Head Buzzard I do not care about here. I'm pretty sure if I Skeletonize Death's Head Buzzard, the 1/1 will die, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, I'm going to Supernatural Stamina this, I think. I'll trade Supernatural Stamina for Disfigure, basically. So my Ghoul will die this turn, but it'll come back on the end step. Man, my opponent had the card that I wanted, Live and Death. Good to know about, especially if I lose this game, which, you know, anybody could lose. I mean, I have removal spells for my opponent's next 15 billion creatures. Also, they can't even cast that Death's Head Buzzard now that I think about it. Alright, any sort of action would be good here. Do I want to Skeletonize their morph? If it's Ruthless Ripper, sure, I think I'm going to do that right now. Maybe I don't actually, because they can giant growth in response. Yeah, that seems pretty bad. Skeletonize is an instant as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold tight with what I have here. Would not mind drawing a Chroma. Alright, so they drew Swamp for turn. They have one unknown. They're probably going to cast Death's Head Buzzard here, I think. Alright, so that leaves Giant Growth in hand, which is kind of annoying, right? Do I go for Skeletonize on this, just see if they let it happen? Like, if they Giant Growth in response, then it's kind of annoying. I think I can untap and see what I draw. Well, Cutthroat's super annoying. If I attack and they block with Buzzard, I try to Skeletonize something in response. I want Death's Head Buzzard off board before I Skeletonize. So I think what I'm going to do here is attack. If they block, I'm just going to let it trade straight up. Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't really want to play Cutthroat into Death's Head Buzzard. I could go for Kindle now and have them blow this Giant Growth. I don't have enough mana to do Kindle plus Skeletonize. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Cutthroat. It's going to die to Death's Head Buzzard at some point. That's fine. That's fine. We'll live with it. What I don't want is some big creature here. I'm going to block the morph with Cutthroat. Hopefully that incentivizes them to use a giant growth. Hopefully it's not a big creature either. No. Oh, I did not click through blocks. Alright, well, I guess I'm not doing that. I clicked through attacks. I'm certain of it that I did not click anything when we went to blocks. Oh, Nezumi Cutthroat can't block. Look at that. I did not know this card could not block. Mostly because it's always sideways. Unearthed Timberpack Wolf. Alright, this seems fine. This seems okay. I did not know that card could not block. But now we know, right? Most of my spells here are good. I don't know. This Giant Growth is super tedious here. If I don't kill the creature with Skeletonize, then I actually don't get the 1/1, right? Alright, so now I can cast both of my spells. Cutthroat might as well attack. Not this thing. Since it can't block, apparently. Oh, Disfigure. Alright, so they're down to just Giant Growth in hand. So I might have to 2-for-1 myself here. So I think what I'll do is try to eat this Giant Growth or something. Not blocking the morph. It could be something other than Ruthless Ripper, which I'm not super into. Alright, so do that. Opponent says sure. If I try to kindle this, do they Giant Growth it? No, they're just fine with this happening. I think I'm going to go ahead and attempt to kindle the Buzzard. Hopefully this prompts like a Giant Growth on Timberpack Wolf. It'll probably be a Giant Growth on Death's Head Buzzard. Alright, target and Buzzard. So now I can Skeletonize. Oh, and I can sack in response. Yeah, this is good. Alright, so now I'm going to Skeletonize the Buzzard. I get the 1/1, and with the trigger on the stack, I'm going to sack the 1/1 to Phyrexian Ghoul so that it doesn't die, and I get to keep Phyrexian Ghoul this way. Neat. So that would just be my Ghoul to their Morph. One card in hand from them, nothing from me. Plus their Morph gets -1/-1 for the turn. Alright, so now we're just straight up race. Enthrall and Victors would be very good here. Bloodhunter Bat, anything like that, basically to outpace my opponent. Epic Confrontation, and I'm taking 2. Ooh, Spike Shot Goblin seems fine here. Not great, but fine. Alright, we're falling behind pretty quickly. Yeah, assuming this is a... No, this is not a Ruthless Ripper, though. Otherwise, they probably would have flipped it with their last black card, I assume. I can trade Spike Shot for this morph. It's not a Woolly Loxodon. Bloodhunter Bat was a good draw. Oh, it's target player loses 2 life? Interesting. Alright, 6-6. We got us a good old-fashioned race here. This could be the 9/9 that flips for a billion mana. I'm not going to block. It's not Woolly Loxodon. They would have flipped it last turn. I don't think it's Ruthless Ripper. Yeah, it's not something that just straight up kills me here. I can cast a Chroma if I draw it. That would be pretty big. Also, Spike Shot's going to keep my opponent from playing any more 1 toughness creatures. It is Ruthless Ripper. Revealing Bloodhunter Bat? Gross. Guess I should have blocked, huh? Alright. So we did the reverse bat that time. That Giant Growth's kind of tricky to play around there. I kind of like Skirk Commando in this matchup. It's not good against Death's Head Buzzard, but hey, I brought in Death's Head Buzzard too, right? I guess buzzards kill other buzzards. Diabolic Edict looking just a little bit better here, but not fantastic. Our decks are very similar. I think I just want to curve out on this fool like the first time. I don't think Deadly Designs is what I want for a deck that's playing all like 2 to 4 drops. My opponent's just not going to be flipping Woolly Loxodons on me or anything like that. So we're going to have to get there with the good old-fashioned beatdown. Opponent does have multiple Dismembers, which is worth noting about. Maybe I want multiple Supernatural Staminas for that reason. It's good. Dismember kind of good against me. I haven't drawn a single Self-Assembler. It's kind of interesting. I will play first, and we will mulligan this hand. And it's close with the Chartooth Cougar. I guess I have Ruthless Ripper as well. If I draw any land, I'm going to be able to cast all my spells, but I think this is still a mulligan. And sure, this is a keep. Mesmeric Fiend can stay on top here. Card is fine. So be able to kindle off my opponent's first play and then Diabolic Edict their next play. Alright, they got them an elf. I think it is probably correct to just go ahead and kill Arbor Elf with Kindle in case they play a 3 toughness creature. We can Edict it. But again, we don't want that elf propelling our opponent ahead of us, especially when we're pretty behind on cards here. Hopefully Mesmeric Fiend is good in this matchup. Whatever 2-drop comes down, I'm going to Diabolic Edict, I think. I don't know that I want to play Mesmeric Fiend right away. Into a Disfigure. And lands are not bad with Self-Assembler. Could just play Mesmeric Fiend. My opponent dismembers, plays a card, I Diabolic Edict. Yeah, let's get a look at their hand at the minimum. I guess they're not going to dismember in response. Otherwise, they lose whatever card, plus they use their dismember. That would not be a good thing to do. So their hand is Courser, Edict, Epic Confrontation, Unearth, Zombify. So a lot of nonsense, plus some other cards here. So I assume they play Forest, Courser, Crufix next turn, and Unearth this turn to cycle. I want to take Diabolic Edict so they just can't kill Mesmeric Fiend. Yeah, that seems fine. If they play Courser next turn, which I assume they will, I get to peek at their next card, plus I get to just Diabolic Edict that off the board. I mean, they can Zombify it, they can Unearth it. These are fine, but Self-Assembler is going to be good against my opponent, I think, if I draw the next land. Plus, Hey, I get a point of damage in. My opponent's throwing Swamp next turn. Kindle's not bad. It's not going to kill a Courser of Krufix, though, which is what they're going to probably unearth the following turn. Oh, they're going to go like unearth plus Epic Confrontation or something like that. Maybe I actually just wait here and see if they want to go Epic Confrontation, and then I can Diabolic Edict in response. That seems strong. I should probably make my land drop as well. Disfigure on top of the library is good for them. Yep, they're going to gain a life. I've been told that Courser of Krufix is one of the most aggravating cards as far as rules go. Yes, they went for Epic Confrontation, so I get to Edict them, which is going to be fantastic. And they're probably just going to spend their turn unearthing Courser of Krufix. What? Epic Confrontation, just eating that out of their hand is nice. Plus, I keep my Mesmeric Fiend, so haha. Most of my draws are great here. Anything that's not double black. Here comes Unearth on Courser, I presume. Look, I'm just saying that would be my guess. Yep. All right, so we know Forest Zombify and they're drawing Disfigure. Disfigure is going to be good. All right, drew Phyrexian Ghoul. That is fine, I suppose. It does mean they can dismember something, and then I can't respond to it. Ooh, Supernatural Stamina. Knowing about these cards is good for me. So Zombify, Disfigure. Disfigure, Mesmeric Fiend, get back whatchamacallit. That's fine. They're just going to Diabolic Edict me right now. I guess I might as well just sack this so that if they don't Edict, they can't attack into me. I think if I draw lands and I start hitting self-assemblers, I'm going to be good, because I think they're going to blow their Diabolic Edict right now. And you know what? I'm going to sack the Ghoul to itself. I do like that there's a prompt to ask you, are you sure you want to do that? Alright, I get hit for 2, but my opponent has Zombify and Supernatural Stamina off the top, so if I hit any land, I'm looking pretty good against them. Self-assembler, yeah. Alright, so we're just going to have a stream of self-assemblers, assuming I don't draw the third one. And these ought to be very good against my opponent. Sure, I might have to trade the first one for Supernatural Stamina. Alright, Swamp off the top for value. Street Wraith on top, which is probably getting cast here. Or if I were the opponent, I would probably cast it. If they attack, I'm probably blocking, so they use Supernatural Stamina on defense. Ooh, matches the wheel. Do I want to hold up that plus Kindle? Because my opponent's going to use Supernatural Stamina here, right? Their hand is Stamina plus Zombify. Yeah, I'll trade Self-Assembler for Supernatural Stamina. Less cards that my opponent can work with. This is fine. All right, Self-Assembler number 2. Yeah, Street Wraith I'm going to have to worry about racing. My opponent does have more life than me. So I guess another Kindle doesn't quite do it. Dusk Legion Zealot off the top. Oh, there's Cyclone Street Wraith? That seems incorrect. They have Dusk Legion Zealot in their hand, which is pretty good here. Oh, they zombified it. Well, that seems like a waste. You can just cast Street Wraith. Ambassador Oak. Yeah, it's going to be hard to race this opponent. Bloodhunter Bat on top. They're doing quite well for themselves here. I trade Self-Assembler for a Street Wraith here. They might just not even block. If they do, no, they're going to take 4. Sure. Their hand is Ambassador Oak. They're drawing Bloodhunter Bats. And if they hit a land on top, they get to cast both, which is kind of gross. Alright, this is going to be an uphill struggle. I can at least kill Bloodhunter Bat. Alright, Cool. So no land on top is good. That means they're not going to be able to cast both their spells. I assume they're casting, I don't know, Bloodhunter Bat this turn. Attacked here. Like I said, a good old-fashioned race, right? If I draw a land, I can put 2 more threats on the board. I probably don't want to use Magus of the Wheel in this matchup. Alright, so they did play Bloodhunter Bats. Again, making it a little hard to race here. Heh, a Chroma, you say? So I'm going to cast a Chroma and hold up Kindle. Attack with both creatures. Opponent might just take 8 here, I assume. Alright, I kind of like that chump. Kind of like it. So we're going to go cast face down and then Kindle Bloodhunter Bat. I'll just wait to see what my opponent draws first. Could Kindle them. Alright, they hit a land. Land on top. Yeah, Corsair's gaining them life too. Alright. Alright, let's fight. So down comes Ambassador Oak plus Timberpack Wolf. If I flip a Chroma, though, I feel a lot better about my odds here. 1, 2, 3, boom. Yeah, I just need to hit a land to flip a Chroma, and then I can dome him in 3 turns. Yep. Death's Head Buzzard. How good is that here? Not very. I guess it kills the Elf Warrior on defense. Unfortunately, I can't play 2 things here, so I think I go attack, attack. My opponent can trade, like, Ambassador Oak for it. Yeah, I'm not feeling too great about this game. Just because this is guaranteed 3 damage. Guess I kind of want to get Death's Head Buzzard down. Alright, let's send the assemblers in, make necessary trades. I'm fine with chumps. Alright, opponent at 12. Essentially 13. Alright, which of these is the best creature to get down? That's the question. Because what am I getting attacked by next turn? Assume everything, right? So maybe I play the Magus of the Wheel so that they can't really attack with Timberpack Wolf. I'll trade Magus for Ambassador Oak, I think. I really don't want to trade my Morph-Off, but I might have to. Alright, they have a Timberpack Wolf on top. Alright, just Street Wraith makes sense. Alright, well, Ruthless Ripper is good. I could play it face up. The 2 extra life might really matter here. I'm on a very short clock. Unfortunately, I did not hit the 6th land in time for this. Alright, if I smash with both assemblers, yeah, I can still block all their creatures. Alright, we're just going to keep coming in. Do I attack with Magus of the Wheel? That just gets blocked here, right? I think I need creatures on defense. I don't want to take more than what this Street Wraith is putting out, to be honest. Alright, so here I think it's still probably best to get rid of the 3/3. So what happens if I get rid of Timberpack Wolf? Then my opponent's going to have a 3/3 and a 2/2 on their turn. If I get rid of Ambassador Oak, their opponent's going to have 2 3/3. So yeah, let's just trade off for Timberpack Wolf. Put our opponent down to 9. Cast Ruthless Ripper face down. Could hold up Wheel here. See how this next turn goes. Disfigure on top. I don't want to draw him into that. Is it right to Wheel? I think I'm just getting hit by Straight Wraith anyway. Yeah, take it. And Timberpack Wolf come down. Alright, Swamp. So we can flip a Chroma now. Dome our opponent for 6. 7, 8, 9. That demands a block off Self-Assembler. Ooh, actually, I'm 1 mana short of killing my opponent in the air. So what I can do then, because I'm going to have another blocker back. I think what I'm going to do here is attack with Assembler plus the Morph. No, I definitely want to just flip the Morph, right? The problem is if I flip the Morph, I can't cast a spell from my hand. My opponent's going to disfigure on their turn, probably killing this. So if I leave Self-Assembler on defense, Magus of the Wheel on defense, and they dismember or they disfigure this, and I hit them for 6 in the air, they attack me with everything. I'm at essentially 1. I can block, boom, boom, but I die. All right, so I can't attack with Self-Assembler then, right? So what if I flip this up? Oh no, they're going to have to play the guessing game on the Morph, I think. Or they're going to have to make a mistake here. Hopefully they try to disfigure a Chroma, and I can just morph it in response, eat a creature, and try to get in there. I think my best bet here is to just not attack at all. We know they're going to draw Disfigure. If they disfigure Ruthless Ripper, that's unfortunate. If they disfigure a Chroma... Actually, if I live to my next turn, I win with a Chroma, because I can morph this on my opponent's turn. They can't kill it. They're going to put me down to 1 with Street Wraith, and I need to be able to block all the other creatures in case they go for a big attack. If they disfigure, or if they disfigure Ruthless Ripper, and they attack with everything, I can block Courser, Ambassador Oak, and Timberpack Wolf with my 3 creatures, and I can flip up a Chroma and kill them, because Ruthless Ripper is going to put them down to 2. So if I don't block, or if I don't attack with anything, I'm pretty sure I win here, even if they gain a life off the top, barring some weird draw spell. So I think I've got this. They're going to go up to 10. Yep. All right, so let them attack. That's perfect. Oh, I guess they can... I didn't think about that. They can actually just disfigure to give -2/-2, right? That's not good. Does that mean they don't die? So they'll be at 8. I can pump this up to 9. I need to draw a mountain, I think, to win now. So turn this up, reveal in Phyrexian Ghoul. Bloodhunter Bat would not do the trick. All right, now transform a Chroma, or rather morph a Chroma, and mountain off the top. So now I attack for... Yeah, I just pumped this up to 10, and if they disfigure it, it's still 8. All right, we got lucky there. Woo! We got bailed out by the top deck mountain there. What a close game. Yeah, don't forget that cards like Disfigure can actually be used as combat tricks. My opponent can't put a land in at instant speed, so attack with a Chroma and kill my opponent. This was a good game. Swamp Walk. Oh man. I think my opponent should have just cast this the turn they went for Zombify, but they did not live and death me. I don't know my opponent's. Okay, yeah. Nice. So very, very close game, but we got there. Pretty awesome, too. Fought through Courser, fought through, I don't know, bunch of stuff, bunch of self-assemblers. Anyway, see you on match 2. All right, we're back on the play with a pretty keepable hand, I think. Probably going to have to play Ruthless Ripper unless we draw another Swamp, which I wouldn't mind drawing because I have self-assembler, but we are going to lead off with a whole bunch of nothing. I'm not into playing a face-up Ruthless Ripper here. I think it has value face down, and we don't know what we're up against yet, so there is that. I don't think my deck needs to ping in the little tiny bits of damage early on. Ooh, Diabolic Edict's a good draw if my opponent drops like a Mog Flunkies here or something like that. It's actually not that bad. And if they play nothing, I get to play Ruthless Ripper and hopefully don't run into... Oh, I do not want to auto-yield. Oh, well, it did not punish us. Swamp, I'll play Undead Gladiator instead. I assume it's dying. My opponent didn't cast anything in their red-black deck, but I guess neither did I until turn 3. I don't mind jamming this creature in. Alright, you have a Phyrexian Ghoul. Probably going to get Diabolic Edicted. Although I might just want to jam my creature in. If I Edict here, I get to attack for 3. I'm going to offer the trade. Could also Supernatural Stamina and just trade that for Phyrexian Ghoul. Opponent's fine with it, so I'm going to Edict in response to whatever creature they end up playing. Hopefully, again, not a Hordeling Outburst, because that's pretty good against my deck and my 3-1. I guess I'll just Edict now, since I'm getting hit. Alright, they chose to sacrifice Phyrexian Ghoul. Very unexpected. Start playing self-assemblers. It's not bad. I don't think I'm going to want to cast Supernatural Stamina here. Cutthroat is a good card. Would actually be pretty sweet in my deck. This is a payoff for having a sacrifice themed deck. Looks like the opponent's got something similar to what we have. Here, do I want to skeletonize that? Probably not. I think, am I attacking? Again, I'll trade Undead Gladiator. At this point, like, I don't need to draw any more lands, so I can start discarding lands to get this Gladiator back. And if they want to trade Cutthroat, that's fine. I don't think they will. Yeah, Cutthroat's pretty pivotal to a lot of these decks. So let's go ahead and get the self-assemblers down. This is actually the first time I've played self-assembler in this format, too. Having 3 is the sweet spot for assembler. 4 would probably be too much. I think we're fairly far ahead here, but at the same time, we don't really know what's going on here. My opponent's some sort of ghoul deck similar to us. 4-drop Pyrehound. Well, I could try to skeletonize that. If they have Disfigure in hand, that goes poorly, or Supernatural Stamina. I think I am going to bash with Self-Assembler and Undead Gladiator, because if they try to do something in response, I can skeletonize, so... keep the Swamp in hand? No, I would rather keep up Stamina plus Self-Assembler. Yep. Alright, go for the hits. Sweet. This is a Disfigure on the Ghoul. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and skeletonize this now, I believe. Oh, I guess I get to keep up the Regenerate on this thing, too. It's not bad. All my opponents have Disfigures. Disfigure is good against me. So now at this point, any lands I draw, I can actually pitch them to get Undead Gladiator back. Undead Gladiator is good in the late game. And my opponent's down to 11 with 3 cards in hand, so I feel fine. At a virtual 9 with Ruthless Ripper. That's assuming I don't have to play out Supernatural Stamina. Like, if they attack, I'm just regenerating and blocking. I can't imagine they're attacking, though. 3 mana... Maybe. Maybe not. Good card so far, though. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a deck where Pyrehound actually shines yet, but... it looks like I'm going to get, like, double Edicted here or something. So if the second edict happens, I'll supernatural stamina and bring back self-assembler, I think. And then I actually get the other self-assembler. So I'm going to let that happen. Sack the skeleton. No, that cutthroat is only when your opponent's... Wait, that was weird. Did they do that just to get in 1 damage? I assume they have another edict in hand or a way to kill this assembler. Trade an edict for that skeleton is not great. A thresher lizard? Alright. I can dig it. Strionic resonator. It's not amazing here. I'm probably just going to play self-assembler and hold up supernatural stamina. Opponent going down to 7 this turn when I have a Ruthless Ripper in hand. Means I might just be able to kill him next turn. If I draw a land, I can go Strionic Resonator, Morph Ripper, flip it up, and double the trigger. But as of right now, I'm fine just going Self-Assembler and go get the third one. And passing the turn. With Supernatural Stamina backup, I prefer not to have to use it on account that I would like to keep a black card in hand for that aforementioned thing. I guess Cutthroat kind of messes that plan up, but if one of these assemblers gets in, it's pretty much GG. 4-drop. What's happening here? Chandra's Outrage on Self-Assembler. Yeah, I'll trade Supernatural Stamina. I lose 2 life. They get a big hit here, but then I have 2 4/4s threatening them. Plus, if they can't play one of the other 2 cards in their hand, they can't get Thresher Lizard up to a 4/4. So they need either a land in hand or a 1-mana red spell. Or a combination of those 2 things. All right, and that was enough to for me to go ahead and take this game. That was sweet. So red-black against red-black, edicts against edicts. Again, I don't feel like I need more edicts when I already have more Kindles in my deck. Strionic Resonator, again, can come out. Again, this is just a cutesy card, but don't necessarily need it here. Skirk Commando seems good against Zulaport Cutthroat and some of the other cards. Might actually want that here. Might actually want another Supernatural Stamina. This card does trade up pretty nicely against these red-black decks. Yeah, let's go ahead and make that. Let's make that exchange. Can't imagine wanting too much else here. I'm not into combat tricks, really. Yeah, Supernatural Stamina is a combat trick, but I also like to think of this as just like a counter spell for a removal spell, which is how it functions. You can get blown out, but at 1 mana, it's cheap enough to play with and around that I'm not too worried about it. Excuse me. Death's Head Buzzard. We saw Zulaport Cutthroat, I guess, is the only thing. Yeah, I'm not in on that yet. Assembly Worker, probably be fine in my deck. It does make my 5/5s, or 4/4s into 5/5s. This is a good hand. Probably going to cycle Ash Barrens for a Swamp. And hopefully my opponent just leads off with some 2 and 3 drops that I can Kindle and Diabolic Edict and then grind them out with Self-Assembler. I think it's going to be hard for a red-black deck to beat 3 Self-Assemblers in a row. So here I'm going to play a Swamp on turn 2, so I'm going to make it look like I don't actually have anything. This makes it look like I'm playing the Swamp I got off Ash Barrens, but I'm actually just going to play a Swamp anyway, so I conceal some information this way. Crimson Mage, that's probably going to get Kindled. Yeah, so get a Swamp here. I could lead with Swamp on turn 1 and play Mountain on turn 2, but then my opponent knows I have a Swamp in hand. Now if I play Swamp this turn, my opponent doesn't know I have anything in hand. I'm going to hold on and just see what happens. If they play a creature, I'll Diabolic Edict. If they just attack, I'll probably Kindle instead. Yeah, let's just Kindle this. Because if they play a bigger creature, anything 3 toughness or more, I'd rather Diabolic Edict take care of that. Oh, well, that's really bad for me. Especially when Undead Gladiator is my next play. Phyrexian Ghoul would be fine here. Again, I think I'm fine if I get to the Self-Assemblers. Yeah, I'm just going to cast that. Alright, Diabolic Edict loses a lot of value here, so I wish I'd played that now. I guess I should have thought about Hordeling Outburst there. Am I trading Undead Gladiator for a Goblin? Looks like they're disfiguring anyway. Assume you attack with all three. Yeah, I don't think I'm trading for a Goblin here, even though disfigure does mean that. I probably want to, but I'd rather them not disfigure my next play either. Oh, and Phyrexian Ghoul? Sick. Well, Bloodhunter Bat's not terrible here. So weird that this has to target. I could attack with Gladiator, but I think I'm at the point where if they attack with Ghoul, I'm going to go ahead and block with Gladiator. Force them to just eat some goblins. Opponent's pretty far ahead of us this game, though. Also, Ghoul does match up well against Enthrall and Victor. Although they would have to sack it. I guess this does kill... No, it doesn't. Ooh. Alright. And if they have Disfigure, this goes very poorly for us. Yep. Oh, they're down on cards. Start trading self-assemblers for goblin tokens. 2, 3, 4, 5. Going down to 14. Yeah, if I play Enthrall and Victor here and try to take the Ghoul, they can just sack a goblin in response, which they would 100% do. So we're going to go self-assembler. Just hope that a stream of 4/4s will be enough. Probably just throw them in front of the Ghoul. My opponent would have to trade 2 goblins at a time. Or 2 creatures, rather, in order for the Ghoul not to die. And then I'm taking less damage. If they have a removal spell for self-assembler, I'm in a lot of trouble. Chandra's Outrage. Yeah, they're just on all removal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can deal 8 to me this turn. They're probably just going to put me down to 7. And hopefully they don't have infinite more removal spells. Alright, I kind of like that. Alright, so if I play the self-assembler... Yeah, I think that's just my best bet here. I could go Enthrall and Victor plus Diabolic Edict. Well, let's see if this stabilizes. Not in a good spot here. But we've got some tools to fight our opponent. If they have a removal spell, I'm dead. Because they can actually pump this up to 8 damage. If they don't, then I block it. Presumably, they sack a certain number of creatures to pump it. And then I can Supernatural Stamina and trade off pretty profitably. They'd have to sack all 3 goblins. But they're casting something pre-combat. Maybe just another creature that they can sack to the Ghoul. Ghoul always messes me up. Ghoul Hordeling Outburst is a very, very strong combination of cards. Just being able to threaten to make an 8/8 off of 2 cards is quite a bit. It means that a lot of times you can't actually even block the Ghoul. Opponent has something they want to cast here. Yeah, this wouldn't be too different if I had played Diabolic Edict over Kindle. I guess Kindle would have forced a goblin off. They have Kindle too, don't they? Yeah, so the next Kindle I draw is going to deal 4 damage. Another Phyrexian Ghoul. Well, that's kind of sick. Well, I'm blocking this Ghoul for sure. If they attack. They might not. Alright, I like that they're attacking. So we go block here and see how many things they want to sacrifice. I assume 2. Are they just fine with that? They have a burn spell in hand. Maybe I hold up Diabolic Edict here? Because if they come all in with this, I can play... I guess either way I'm playing Self-Assembler. And just seeing what happens. Kind of curious, my opponent let me eat their Phyrexian Ghoul in exchange for Ooh, Cutthroat. So I think that just kills me, right? Because they can sack 3 creatures. Actually, if I Diabolic Edict them now, I don't think they can kill me because they can't sack Phyrexian Ghoul plus Cutthroat. So they can deal 3 to me. Yeah, I have to Edict them now. I mean, I'm pretty dead. If I let that resolve, they can just dome me for 4. Pretty sick. Death's Head Buzzard seems pretty good against this opponent. Now that we've seen Crimson Mage and Portaling Outburst, Zulaport Cutthroat, sack a Goblin here. Well, I guess they can just attack with all 3, and they get in 1 point of damage. They can sacrifice the other creatures, so I am kind of dead. No, they still can't do that, can they? Yeah, they can. They attack with everything. I don't block a Goblin. They go sack Goblin token. No, they can't. They can't. So I think my goal here is to enthrall Invictor up Phyrexian Ghoul. I mean, if they draw any creature, then I'm dead. I've already used Blood Hunter Bat, so I don't have that as an out. I don't have very much else that gains life in my deck at all. Yeah. I don't think this kills me. Because I'm going to go down to 3. They sack anything pre-combat, it doesn't really make a difference. Like, they're going to sack this Goblin to this Ghoul, and then sack the other Goblin, I presume. That puts me down to 2. Huh. Alright. Yeah, this is all going to happen. Can't do anything about it. I assume they're going to have to sack the other Goblin here, which puts me down to 1. Or, I'm sorry, that puts me down to 2. If I can set up a turn where I can enthrall Invictor... Yeah, that doesn't kill me. Oh, that's smart, though. So now I can't really deal with these things, can I? Is there a way for me to kill one of my own creatures this turn if I take Cutthroat? I can enthrall Invictor and take Cutthroat. Yeah, I think I'm just dead. I'm not going to show him enthrall Invictor yet. Alright, so opponent is all in on those little guys. Alright, Death's Head Buzzard for sure coming in. Diabolic Edict seems pretty bad here overall. Deadly Design seems terrible. And there's not much else that I'm super interested in. Cloud Chief seems okay, but we're we're not bringing that in. Renewed Faith also seems like it could be a decent sideboard card, but it cycles for white. Skirk Commando will consider as well. Spike Shot Goblin should be good. Yeah, we have good tools for this matchup, I think. The Zulaport Cutthroat really did us in there. Alright, so what are we cutting? I don't think I'm going to bring in a second Skirk Commando. Might even cut the first one for the Death's Head Buzzard. Nizumi Cutthroat seems not great in this matchup since it can't block, and Fear is not good against a black opponent anyway. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just make this cut. Oh, I need to bring in one more card. I brought up Diabolic Edict. Sure, I'll bring in Skirk Commando number 2. I mean, Edict can be fine sometimes. I'll keep one Edict in. It's bad against Portaling Outburst, but it's good enough against a lot of things. It's also good if my opponent goes all in on a Phyrexian Ghoul. I will play first. Alright, well, we have Edict, but not much else. I guess I have the Mountain Cycler, so yeah, this seems fine. Not amazing, but fine. Opponent's also going down a card, which is good news for us. Ooh, down 2 cards to 5. And let's see what the mulligan looks like. They're keeping on top. Alright, so we've got a shot. So I get the luxury of playing Swamp and passing and seeing whether I need to Edict or whether I need to Mountain Cycle. Alright, that's not terrible. I'm probably Mountain Cycling regardless of what they do and then just Edict in whatever their first play is. Crimson Mage again or something like that. Oh, if they have nothing, that's great. Alright. Let's go ahead and cycle for a mountain. So now I can cast my spells. What do I want to cast here? Probably Magus of the Wheel, just because it beats down the most. And it's the hardest for them to kill with the straight-up Kindle. What did we see out of them? We saw Kindle, Chandra's Outrage, and Diabolic Edict. 3 red. Let's see if they have the Outburst. They do not. That's good news for us. Alright, lands would be good. Mountains especially are pretty good. I can actually set up the Humble Defector Diabolic Edict thing, which I might do this turn over playing Ruthless Ripper. Although I'd rather not Diabolic Edict my own creature, so maybe I don't do that. I'm probably just going to play Ruthless Ripper and hold up Supernatural Stamina. We're pretty protected against removal spells. They're going to Kindle this. Oh, I F6. Shoot. I missed out on 2 life there. Let's see if it matters. But opponent's not hitting us back either. Their next Kindle can take care of Magus of the Wheel. Ooh, I like Skirk Commando here. We haven't seen a second Kindle out of our opponent. Plus, that powers up our Kindles if we draw them. Yeah, let's go ahead and cast this bad boy face down and not F6 in case we want a Supernatural Stamina. I will trade Staminas for removal spells here. Alright, 4th land means they can Chandra's Outrage. That's a combo with Humble Defector, too. Humble Defector, give it to him, hit him with Skirk Commando, kill Humble Defector. Alright, what is this? They drew a mountain for turn, so this is not Hordling Outburst. Looks like they might be debating using a removal spell, Sorcery Speed, or not. I feel pretty good about this matchup, having Diabolic Edict and Humble Defector in case we need it, plus Supernatural Stamina. Alright, Chandra's Outrage. Yeah, I'll trade a Supernatural Stamina for that. I still take 2, but I get to trade a 1-mana spell for my opponent's 4-mana removal spell. Ooh, Phyrexian Ghoul. I'm just going to play Humble Defector here and attack for 5. This cannot hit players, so no reason to be super tricky about it. Opponent's down to 9 and falling behind quickly. I can Diabolic Edict their next play, and then I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. So if they just tap out for a creature here and I Edict it, I think I just win the game. And then I don't have to be cutesy. I also have Ghoul to eat Humble Defector now. 3 mana. What are you? Pyroclasm would be pretty good. No, they drew another mountain for turn, so it's not that. Active Treason. Ooh, that's nice. I can Diabolic Edict myself. They played a mountain for turn, right? Played mountain, so they can't play a black spell. So I could actually Supernatural Stamina this right now. That way, if they sacrifice it, it comes back into play under my control. They're going to have to draw 2 1-drops for that to matter, and then I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I don't actually have lethal on them. I'd rather not lose these cards, I don't think, although they're going to be drawing me 7 new cards. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and... Do I Edict myself here? That's so strange. That's such a weird thing to do. I don't think I do. Or, no, I don't have enough to do that. Edict myself, sacrifice Magus the Wheel, hit them for 4, play Phyrexian Ghoul with Supernatural Stamina backup. Yeah, I'm going to Edict myself here. I don't want them drawing 7 cards. And I think I'm pretty well set up against them. Probably going to go for the Humble Defector combo with Phyrexian Ghoul anyway. I mean, that's one way to lose this game is by being super greedy. I guess I don't need to go for it this turn. I'll attack for 4. I mean, I could have supernatural stamina my guy, let him take it. If he sacrifices it, I get it, I believe. Yeah, and then I still have the same situation. I can edict them, but I don't get to kill them. This way, my opponent's still in top deck mode. They're facing down lethal. I can draw 2 cards. I can ping off creatures with commando, and I have supernatural stamina backup. I think I'm in just fine position. They drew black. They drew black. All right, edict me. Sure, probably get rid of Skirk Commando here. Or I guess I can just supernatural stamina, whichever one I want to get back, and then sacrifice that one. So I would rather that be the morph just to make it lethal. Make sure I have lethal on board. Say sure to edict, sack that. And Skirk Commando's back. And we win the game. Cool. So sorry to the opponent who mulled down to 5 and got a little bit mana screwed there, but they hung in there quite a bit. I like Active Treason when they have double Phyrexian Ghoul in their deck. Kind of wish we had an Active Treason for the same reason, but you can see there was a couple lines of play, and I'm actually interested to see what you guys think I should have done there when they tried to take my Magus of the Wheel, because they were definitely going to use... Oh, you know what? They would have had to use 2 mana to activate it anyway. They wouldn't have been able to play anything. I should have let them have it, or I should have supernatural stamina the Magus of the Wheel, and then let them just sacrifice it, because then I get the Magus back on end step. I have 7 power on board. I still have Diabolic Edict. Yeah, it was probably correct to just like stamina the Magus and let them have it, and then they can wheel into 7 cards. Plus, I'd be drawing 7 cards. It's very likely I hit a Kindle and just kill them, or Bloodhunter Bat. So I think I probably made the wrong play there, but it worked out for us anyway. We are in the finals with this janky red-black deck, and I'll see y'all there. Deck against Hey Hoshi. Hey Hoshi, how you doing? We are not on the play this time, but I think we have a fine hand. I'm not in love with Humble Defector when I don't have a way to combo with it, but this hand does get a lot better with a Phyrexian Ghoul. Opponent's down to 6. Hey Hoshi, why would you do that? And they're on top. They're playing first as well, if I didn't already mention that. If I draw a Supernatural Stamina, I can do the thing with a Chroma. I'll have to see red decks in the finals here. These red decks are pretty strong. I'm going to run out Mesmeric Fiend on turn 2. Unless I feel like I need to trade with something, then I'll probably play Humble Defector. But ooh, blue-red. Ooh, Kindle's nice too. I think we probably just want to see what's going on there. I'm going to get Arcane Denial. Oh, Accumulated Knowledge. Well, that just gives me more options. I'm probably not taking Accumulated Knowledge. Let's see. Blue-red, I assume some sort of control deck. We have Mountain, Skirk Commando, which can get kindled. Ghost Ship, which cannot get kindled and is pretty good against us. Chandra's Outrage, and Balduvian Horde. Well, I'm not going to take Balduvian Horde. I don't mind if they Chandra's Outrage Mesmeric Fiend, I don't believe, so probably take Skirk Commando. No, I'm not going to take Skirk Commando because I can kindle that. I'm going to take Chandra's Outrage. Just take the 1 removal spell, and they have to hit another island to Ghost Ship us anyway. Plus they have Mountain in hand, so right now Chandra's Outrage is null and void. Also, Chroma's Angel has Pro Blue, so if I ever get that down and they Ghost Ship, then I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, so that's Skirk Commando, and if it's not, I'm going to feel like I just got, but we're going to kindle that. As much as I'd love to Phyrexian Ghoul here, I'm just going to shoot this off now because it kills Mesmeric Fiend. And then next turn we can go Ghoul, follow that up with maybe Skeletonize, although Skeletonize is not going to have a good target. Balduvian Horde's also going to be good against us, I think. It's going to hinge on getting a Chroma down, I think, and making sure it survives. Opponent did hit the blue mana. So Ghost Ship coming down and wrecking my plans to ever deal with it. Ghost Ship is pretty good. I don't mind Grave Robber there. Or Cutthroat, I suppose. So now I can go Humble Defector plus Nezumi Cutthroat. Conceal the fact that I have the Phyrexian Ghoul combo. And Cutthroat does mean I get to keep coming in for some more damage. If my opponent plays Balduvian Horde, they are going to have to discard a card, which is fine. Unfortunately, they've got pretty good defense against us, too. Skeleton Eye is not going to be great in this matchup, I don't think. I assume they just play the Horde here. They have 2 unknowns as well. Yep, here comes Horde. Let's see what they're discarding. It's random, too, so they don't get a choice. Pitching a Mountain. So we know nothing about their last card, and I assume I'm getting attacked by Ghost Ship. Alright, I'll trade 2 for 2 for sure. Supernatural Stamina. No. I don't think I want to Magus of the Wheel this game. I'm going to play Phyrexian Ghoul, I suppose. I can attack with just Cutthroat here. Drawing a land would be nice. I could also go Humble Defector and sack it to Phyrexian Ghoul, but I'd rather do that in a turn where I can make use of the +2/+2, I think. I'm casting the Ghoul this turn, that's for sure. Cutthroat's going to get in there. I'm probably going to take 7. Alright, so do I want to play Magus the Wheel and try to like double block this thing? Probably not. Alright, Ghoul coming down. And the question is, do I want to do the Humble Defector thing? And draw 2 cards now? Probably not. Like I said, I'd rather do that in a turn where I can make use of it. Unfortunately, you can't use Humble Defector on your opponent's turn, otherwise that would be pretty easy snap block. I can't really get rid of Mesmeric Fiend either because I don't want to unlock that Chandra's Outrage right now. That seems bad for me. Diabolic Edict would be a pretty good draw here. Another Kindle would not be that great. Unlocking Skeleton Eyes would be fine too because it would let me make a Regenerator to deal with Balduvian Horde. Yeah, getting attacked by both, as expected. Gonna take it this turn, not be happy about it. And opponent does not have a land in hand. They do have a Morph, though. Alright, so Enthralled Victor would be a pretty good draw here. Land would just deal with that. Oh, they do have land in hand. Alright, cool. Cool. Oh, there's Enthralled Victor. I think I'm going to take this and just sacrifice it, see what it is. It's not anything they can morph up right now. Plus, this gives me decent double blocks for Balduvian Horde. And it gets me in quite a bit of damage this turn. Oh, I actually should probably have taken Ghost Ship there. I forgot I could take Ghost Ship. Morphin Fortune Thief. Damage that would reduce your life total to 1. Okay, well, that's fine. They're morphing that up so I don't get damage off of it. But the fact that I can sack it to Phyrexian Ghoul means I can do that anyway. That's a good card to know about. Double red, 0/1. We can deal with it, though. It's not the worst thing in the world. So, question is, I can deal 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 to my opponent. They can hit me back for 7 down to 4. I think I just want to deal as much damage as possible. I can even deal 2 more at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Put them down to 6. I don't think I need to do that quite yet. They might not be able to attack me on their turn. Yeah, it was probably better to take Ghost Ship there. Ghost Ship's a persistent source of damage. If they attack, I'm not blocking, and then I'm dead to something like Uncaged Fury, or I'm not dead to Bolt. Dead to Double Kindle. I just want my opponent to not draw like more accumulated knowledges here. Because right now it favors me, Ghost Ship versus Nezumi Cutthroat, if nothing else changes. Plus Ghoul can attack pretty safely. If they had another island, this would be not great. Actually, another island for them wouldn't even be the worst thing in the world for me, because it means I can just get in with Cutthroat and they're probably leaving Ghost Ship on defense. Ooh, instead they drew a Self-Assembler. That's actually very good. Self-Assembler is strong. Skeletonized would be a good draw. Does Horde come in? I assume these come in. Oh, no attacks at all. Alright, this favors me, I think, with the Cutthroat. I drew a self-assembler of my own. So now I'm really thinking I go Humble Defector, sack to Phyrexian Ghoul, and just hope to draw into some lands that I can maybe use Skeletonize with, or something along those lines. So I think I might have to hold control on this one. And then activate sacrificing this. Alright, we did draw lands. So now what I can do is Skeletonize mid-combat to make this a 6/6. I don't want to leave myself dead on the backswing, but my opponent has to block Phyrexian Ghoul. They have one in... Oh, they have a self-assembler in hand. Duh. They're probably just going to block with self-assembler and make me sack a creature. If they do that, that's kind of annoying, because then Skeletonize gets no value. I can't kill anything else with Skeletonize. I could also just play my own self-assembler and attack for 2. That's probably fine. Oh, snap. Right, Fear, you can be blocked by artifacts. Alright, well, I'm gonna make up for my mistake by Skeletonizing this thing, which is not good for me. Yep, that's how Fear works. Fear creatures can be blocked by artifacts. Keep that in mind. Not great. not my best show in there. So now they can start attacking me with Ghost Ship, I think. Let's see if they have the third assembler. They do. Oh, and it's foil? Alright, well, hopefully that doesn't cost us the game. I guess I can cast a Chroma face down. I would rather just have a bunch of red mana, because if I can transform a Chroma and hit them, I can just win the game, right? So 1, 2, 3 plus... Yeah, just play some more threats out. A Chroma should be pretty good at wrapping this up, assuming they don't draw anything. They have one unknown plus another self-assembler. A Chroma, very strong against them. Hopefully they just tap out for another self-assembler here. If they attack with self-assembler, I'll probably just block with like Magus plus a Throne Victor. Alright, they're going to go land cycle and get an island, presumably so they can regenerate Ghost Ship now. And their hand is one unknown, unless they randomly have another foil self-assembler. See if they start attacking us. I don't think they can. Can I actually... If I draw Supernatural Stamina, I can win on my turn. If they attack with a creature, I win on my turn. Alright, no attacks. Alright, so just swamp. So what I can do is attack for 7 in the air. Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Chroma can't be blocked. We know that much. I can pump it up to 7 by paying 6 and then paying 1. So I'm guaranteed 7 damage on them, and then they can only block 4 of my ground creatures. So yeah, this should do the trick. Make sure I'm not missing anything. So 6 plus 1 is 7. Pro blue, and then block, 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 block. Take 1 off the other creature. Yeah, that should be enough. So let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pump. Attack with everything. And barring some nonsense card, that should be it. Alright, so let's remember Fear. Is Pillage good enough against my opponent if they have 3 self-assemblers in their deck? Pillage destroys an artifact or a land. Probably not that great. I do think I just want more Diabolic Edicts here, though. Edict seems good against basically everything they played. And in exchange, I can cut Skirk Commando, which seems pretty bad. The Skeletonized didn't even seem that good. Yeah, cut Skeletonized, I think. Just because I saw so many 4 toughness creatures, Skeletonized is just not great. We saw, what, Baduvian Horde, Ghost Ship, and 3 whatchamacallits, plus Diabolic Edict, going to take care of those pretty nicely, I think. I think I still keep Cutthroat, though. Is there a 2-drop I'd rather play than Cutthroat? Eh, probably not. Death's Head Buzzard seems bad. Assembly Worker? Does make my Assembly Workers bigger than their Assembly Workers. Nah. Alright, hopefully 1,000 Diabolic Edicts does the trick and gets us our second trophy in our final matchup here. Spike Shot Goblin doesn't seem like it's going to be that good here, but Self-Assembler does seem good. And our opponent is not mulliganing. Hey Hoshi, you kept a land, or kept a hand. Frenzied Goblin, alright. Opponent's next level on us here. We are going to, I guess, cycle Ash Barons. Take a lot of damage off Goblin, but if they don't kill Spike Shot Goblin, then that'll take care of that at some point. Yeah, opponent might have just boarded into a different deck or not drawn the aggressive part of their deck, because we're going to take 1,000,000 now. Oh, if I draw a Diabolic Edict, this works. This saves us a lot of damage. Because I'm going to take a lot up to there. Or drawing a 2-drop would be nice. Diabolic Edict or Kindle would be great draw. But Kindle's good. Kindle means that I can just shoot down Frenzied Goblin and not have to worry about getting hit by Mog Flunkies. Granted, they're probably going to play another creature, although I can play Spike Shot Goblin after that point. Alright, let's go ahead and shoot this down with Kindle. That saves me 4 damage this turn and gets the 1/1 off board. Not great considering I have Spike Shot Goblin at the ready for it. Geez, they are pretty aggro. Strionic Resonator, I forgot that was in my deck. This is probably not the matchup for that, but Spike Shot Goblin, if they can't answer it, does take out Crimson Mage, and they missed a land drop, so I'm probably taking 5 this turn. And if they can't deal with Spike Shot Goblin, I get to go Ghoul plus shoot down Crimson Mage. And that puts me in a pretty nice spot. My opponent's a lot more aggro than it looked like from that first game, geez. Alright, accumulated knowledge, searching for land, but did not find it. So let's go Ghoul, and just not even give them a chance to untap. Now Mog Flunkies is basically dead in the water. Oh, they hit the 3rd land, so they should be able to cast spells now, I assume. We're going to start dropping Self-Assemblers, though. I don't think that's going to be that good here, unless... Okay, just to get some damage in? I'll take 5. I guess that's a fine play. You're trading a Crimson Mage for some damage. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Ruthless Ripper, not a great draw there since I can't actually use its ability, but it does mean I get to cast something this turn. Let's just shoot this down. Do I want to cast this face up so I can play Strionic Resonator too? I don't know that Strionic Resonator actually does that much for me here, so kind of not into that. I'd rather have the 2/2 morph. Alright, and I guess I should attack. Barring another haste creature, I don't think Mog Flunkies is going to hit me again. At least not right away. Alright, here comes the Ghost Ship. Oh, Undead Gladiator's not terrible. Probably just attack with the Morph. Could attack with the Phyrexian Ghoul too, but then it forces me to trade something off. Yeah, just the Morph can come in. Hopefully they double block. That would be pretty insane. Fortunately, that's not happening, so Self-Assembler is going to come down and start this train rolling. I am at 9 already. I did take a pretty huge hit, so let's see if Ghost Ship can get the job done. My opponent at virtually 14. I guess 13 with Spike Shot Goblin. I assume I'm getting attacked by Ghost Ship. Okay. I'm at 7. Blood Hunter Bat would be a good draw. Strionic Resonator can actually double this ability. So I can shoot down 2 toughness creatures. Chandra's Outrage the Morph. Alright, well, let's go ahead and reveal this and sacrifice it to Phyrexian Ghoul. Target player, geez. Sacrificing it to Phyrexian Ghoul means I don't actually lose the 2 damage from Chandra's Outrage because the spell will fizzle. And then we can just shoot our opponent for 1 there. Alright, well now my opponent can't attack or can't block with Mog Flunkies. So let's see how much damage we can get in. If I play 2 creatures, I get in for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not enough. I don't think I want to do that. So I think I'm going to play... I think I'm just going to attack with these 2. Might be a little greedy to do that. Might also just be necessary to do that. And I think I want more creatures on board rather than a big creature. So Humble Defector plus Undead Gladiator. And opponents at basically 6 life, 5 life if I untap with Spike Shot. They can't attack with Ghost Ship anymore, I don't think. I'd be very surprised if Ghost Ship attacked me. Alright, well, not sure what that means, but Ghost Ship is coming in. Keep in mind, I have the Strionic Resonator thing that basically means Spike Shot can do 2 on my next turn, if that's a thing that happens. Oh, another Ghost Ship. Alright, so let's go ahead and shoot the opponent. And if I draw a removal spell, I'm definitely just in the clear. Kindle. I have another Kindle in my graveyard, right? So I can just Kindle them. Attack with everything. Block. Block. Oh, they're just dead on board. Yeah. Alright, cool. Well, we won another one. Kind of interesting. Our last 2 drafts we trophied out after like 10 drafts of not trophying. The cool thing is I managed to 2-1 pretty much at minimum 2-1 or 3-0 every single draft I recorded, which is nice. And we got to play black. So we played pretty much the full gamut of this set, and it's coming down offline tomorrow. So I don't think I'll be playing pretty much any more Masters 25. So I hope you enjoyed it while it was around. What you guys can expect for this coming up week is another Rivals of Ixalan draft to say goodbye to the format. And then Dominaria, which if you have not checked out spoilers for Dominaria, the set looks incredible. And we're very much looking forward to it. So thanks for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed the matches. And we had some pretty interactive games, some pretty cool games overall with the red-black deck. And I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, my name is Timothy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.